think because we get addicted as women, or I don't know, at least we did, I felt, to being martyrs.
Yeah.
To being
of
like,
course.
look at what I've done, and and look at what I'm sacrificing.
Sacrificing, and you see, and I may not be pleasant and happy, but here I am.
Yeah.
With my bitches.
Welcome to the Delulu Magic Podcast. I'm Paola.
And I'm Gabby.
And today we are talking about one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself as a woman, and that is friendship and time spent with your friends.
Yes, that we have both realized doing our podcast together, how important it is to have time together. And I think as we've gone over the season, it's even more become such a huge thing for us to incorporate more connection with other women.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we've both been surprised of just how filling it is, and how it shows externally, like other people can see it in us.
The glow.
Yes. And you didn't know what the glow was missing from.
Yeah.
And it was probably from not having that, like, being
That connection.
the connection, and being the intentionality of actually putting in the work for friendship.
Mm-hmm. Because I feel like a lot of, obviously, when you're a teenager, we spend so much time with your friends.
Mm-hmm.
Like we spent so much time together, as much as we could, just being silly, driving around, listening to music, and just taking pleasure in like the smallest things.
Mm-hmm.
But then life starts, right? You're working, you have kids, and just the overwhelm of trying to figure out how to juggle all these plates that you have spinning at once. And you start letting certain things just kind of fall by the wayside. And I feel like time with friends is one of those things. Do you feel like you did the same?
Yeah. I didn't think, like, looking back, I thought I was good about it, right? Because I had set times that I made sure, but not as much as I needed.
Mm-hmm.
Or I would have felt better, I think, over time if I'd been dedicated that just as important as it was for me to think about, let's call it my working out, because that was like for vanity's sake or whatever. I didn't think, it wasn't an unhealthy way about it. And then I became so family focused, and then just being stuck in that, not thinking something's missing that I needed, that I have found, like that I need, like that me specifically, my personality needs to have.
Because it brings up like these hormones, right? We get oxytocin,
Dopamine.
And that's like the feel good, the bonding hormone.
Yeah.
And when you don't have that connection, and to be able to be yourself, of course, we're going to act a little different, like, with your spouse, with your kids. But I think it's very freeing and very just like that sigh of being able to just like, hey, let's go for a walk, friend, or like have coffee. And you can almost say those things. I think what I find is that I can say the things that sometimes are stressing me out. And it's almost like name it to tame it. You're getting certain things out. And then when you get home, you're just a little lighter.
Yeah.
Because you were able to share that with somebody. And you didn't feel crazy. Like sometimes I think as moms or as parents and spouses, as a woman, you feel crazy. You're like, oh my God, am I the only one that's feeling like this crazy overwhelm or dread or whatever you're feeling at the particular time, right? Or resentment or rage, right? There's so many different feelings
all the things that come with being at this point of life for us. I realized I didn't think, I don't do this. Oh no, I'm gonna be truthful, right? It could be at the bottom. I was always like last, and then that was a little further down. I wanted to be always available for everybody, and then I didn't know how to figure out how to balance it out. So it almost like didn't do anything. It was too much of one thing, which was like mothering or like being a daughter or whatever, work, all the things, and then forgetting about what I needed. And then when I would try to do things, and I would always go into it with like that constant guilt of like, should I really be going? Like you said earlier, you said for a whole day, and I said it was really 2 to 3 hours, but we felt like that was the end of the world because you were taking away time from something. Was it the being productive, or because we wanted to be martyrs?
I think because we get addicted as women, or I don't know, at least we did, I felt, to being martyrs.
Yeah.
To being like,
of course,
look at what I've done, and and then look at what I'm sacrificing.
sacrificing, and you see, and I may not be pleasant and happy, but here I am.
Yeah.
With my bitches.
And also, like you said, that you get And maybe that's also what it is as women. And so I think that's something to take note of. We give into the obligation of the what should I be doing? Okay, great. I'm going to have these people over. That may be whatever extended family, like, or other
Friends,
people
or
that
things
you're
that
like,
you think
yeah,
that-
like,
yeah.
oh, I have to do that.
Yeah.
And then you take away from the things that you actually want to do because you're like, well, I took time to do that, so now I don't have as much time to do this other thing that maybe I do want to do, or maybe we just don't give it enough thought. I don't know. I think at that point, I think we were just in the drift where you're just like, life is just going, and you're like, I'm gonna make time, but it's like that friend, like literally, you know, one of my friends, she lived in Dubai for a while, and we would text, and oh my God, I can't wait for you to move back so we can see each other. Ask me how many times we've seen each other. She's been back like 7 years.
I know.
Ask me how many
I
times.
know. I see her on social media.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
love her. Shout out to you.
Yes,
You know who
yes.
you are.
Yes, you know who you are, and I love her, and it doesn't mean that
Is it?
that I don't. Yeah, I absolutely love her, and we text like, oh
yeah.
yeah, let's go get coffee, but it's like that thing that you talk about that never fully gets set, and we probably live 25 minutes away.
So it's the prioritizing. It just clicked for me too that I was like, I think social media did for us. So we were already putting it to the side. Like I don't have time. I'm guilty. I feel bad. So, and then I see everybody on every day. I turn on my phone and I can see what you did, where you went, what you had. I mean, I don't need to have the one-on-one, right? And as I was looking at some of the things for today, I was thinking like how it talks about it's so overused, but it's like this interaction, us sitting eye to eye, being together, even if we're riding in the car together, if you're with other people, it's just that whole fact of being physically present together. It does you know your oxytocin, the dopamine she mentioned, you do not want to lose your dopamine. That is your feel good, and it makes you healthier. Like we both have read, like Harvard has the longest study on happiness, and it just talks about, let's see, I have my notes, it is your stronger predictor of happiness and health. Your healthiest relationships. So for women, I think we're hearing about it more now, and it's very important. I think but we've always known in history, but for us to sit and really say, hey, this has to be top priority.
Yeah.
Right? It can't be
For like your actual
well,
and
in
like
your
to live.
longevity. Yeah, to live and to be, 75 and 80, and you're thriving, and you have your physical health is good, your mental health, how you feel about yourself, because it really pushes away loneliness. But you have to, like we've talked about a lot of things here. It's like you've got to go do the things. You have to do the actions.
Yeah.
It's not, you cannot get it on the phone and think that that's a friendship, a connection. But it is good when you are connected that way, because you have a lot of memes interacted and reels and all that fun stuff, right?
I do miss that, and I feel like I've made less time for that. Yeah, like just sending the memes, and because that also just makes you laugh. It's like this connection, like this language that you have. But I think that sometimes we end up replacing, like you said, that for actual, true, like in-person live connection, and it doesn't even take that long. And I know, I think we've been there. You were with the, where we're working all the time, where the kids are little. You're managing the house. But we're not saying taking a whole weekend. That would be nice. I think husbands should absolutely, that needs to be like a thing that we start. Husbands giving that to their wives, like, once a year. But even just as a woman saying, I'm going to take an hour to go get a cup of coffee with a friend once a month, once every 2 months. But like Gabby says, which I absolutely love, you have to schedule it. If not, it just becomes that thing.
I'm going to
that's
do it.
always
Like you
like,
said,
I'm going to do it.
we'll do it soon. Let's catch up. Let's catch up. We all have those conversations, right? You go places and you're like, I'd love to see you. So this year has been feels like right of growth. That is what I'm going to recognize. I've stepped out of my comfort so many times, and I have befriended. I met them last year through my husband, his friends. He plays golf with two of their wives. That they happen to be friends with a good friend of mine, but both of them, I adore them. We see each other. We've done kind of some couple stuff, but one of them right now, like she joined us this weekend for something I did for my birthday, and when she was talking, like she's very deep, and her and I have these conversations, and mind you, we don't know each other, right? And we're like going towards 50s, whatever, but it felt so good that I was like, I feel like I kind of have pursued her a little. Like I had text her and I'll like invite her, and I want her to feel loved, and like she'll huzz me and I don't get weird. It's because this is a lot of things about me. Like I'm being truthful here. Like people that love me and know me I'm being like open to us. And I'm finding so much joy in it.
And being
And
open.
yes, being open,
Mhm.
and agreeable, and just really, really, I really find that I want to be surrounded by people that just I lift up and they lift me up, and I
Yeah.
have like, I mean, I want you to tell the experience of how amazing it was to have friends and to be celebrated, what it does for us. But I've never felt so seen and loved like the past 4 days,
Oh.
it doesn't, I mean, I can hurt somebody's feelings if other people are in my life, right? But
No.
to be like known and seen by women, of different women that are
Mhm.
part of different of my life, it just felt like I felt like, oh, okay,
Mhm.
I'm good, I'm
Mhm.
okay. Like
Mhm.
I didn't need anything else but that. But it was the connection. So the connections I built with everybody, because I've been intentional with all of that. Like
And you
now
have like
I
what
have,
you've reaped,
yeah,
what you've sown,
yes,
right?
yeah.
Because I think in life as well, we just go, go, go. And maybe we think so much, especially I think here in this culture,
Mhm,
like about
mhm,
ourselves, what's in it for
mhm.
me.
Yeah, yeah,
And like even like what you were saying, you pursued
yes,
her, like
yes,
text her
yeah,
because sometimes, right,
yeah,
that you're putting that love in, or that like you trying to make someone else feel special.
yes, yeah.
And I think that
Yeah,
comes
comes
back
back.
around.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm finding that, like I went to yoga Saturday and I was like super friendly. I was talking to the instructor and I met a mom and I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know who I am. Like when
I
I got
know.
in the
I feel
car.
like this has been the year for me too. Like,
I know,
yeah,
I know.
that's so
I
crazy.
know.
And even and we talk about we've been best
Yes.
friends what for 30
Yes.
years, and this year I love that we
Yeah.
started this because
We've
I
had
was
the
looking,
most
I
time
was
together.
scrolling because we were making
Yeah.
it's her birthday right on Saturday, and I was making a slideshow. I'm like going and I'm like, wow, there's some years
Years.
that
Mhm.
we don't have a ton of like footage or
Mhm.
photos together, and that I know that we would be like, oh, we're gonna get together, but we wouldn't get together. Maybe we
Mhm.
would do like one
Mhm.
yearly trip and talk a lot, but it wasn't. And I was actually really surprised because I thought,
We
you
had
kind of
more.
forget, like at
Yes,
least
of
I do. I'm
course.
like, I don't
Yes.
know what 5 years ago I was doing
Yeah.
or 10 years ago, but I thought that we were, but we weren't being as
No.
intentional and spending as much
Mhm.
time together. And we only have one life, and I want to make sure that I create as many memories. To me, that's what it's about now.
Mhm.
So this week we decided, our momager, me, we kind of planned a surprise party for Gabby.
Oh
It
yeah.
was a surprise dinner, which is really funny because obviously last week we were
If you
talking
watch the
about,
episode that from the previous episode, you'll know why it's funny.
and there was one part where you're like, yeah, something
Don't
about a
like
surprise, where you're like,
surprises.
well, maybe if you did it. And I was like, okay. I'm like, I hope you like the surprise,
The
don't.
one I did.
And it was so much fun. First because you had
I
no
have
clue.
none.
And then and then our producer, I was telling her, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pick her up. And she's like, well, how are you gonna get her here
Yeah.
to say, why are we stopping by? And I was like, she's gonna pop in and I'm gonna be on the phone with you being like, oh yeah, we'll come by to take a photo. And she was like, let's do it maybe this other way. And I was like, yeah, that's less sus. I'm like, I
Yes.
would have like got
Yeah.
blown up.
Yeah.
So it was really cool because we got to, we did a little video. I was like, oh, we're gonna go. I think, what did you think we were gonna do? Like a dinner,
I thought so. I thought an activity.
an
But
activity?
because you're like in flat, so I was like, oh yeah, yeah, we're not gonna be going to
And we've been more about
like
activities.
yes, yeah, yeah. So I for sure I was like, and then but I didn't think anything of it whenever she sent us the message back about we sent
Because
a
we're
photo.
so slick.
Well, yeah, I didn't. I told you. I mean, it was so good. I've got to give it to
Yeah,
everybody.
you tell it.
I
Tell
am
me how you
so
felt,
grateful. Well, Paula
like
told me
pulling
a
up.
few weeks ago to be ready to go do something, and I actually was like, okay, I don't need to ask her questions because, like I said, I would go whatever she told me to do, without questioning it. So I get in the car and she's playing music, so I kind of was like, well, tell me where we're going, so directions, because I felt like
Yeah, her control kicked
yes,
in. She
yes,
asked me,
yes.
like, she's like, well,
I
tell
was
me
like,
so that
because
I can know, because
traffic. Well, I
traffic.
just thought traffic, and I didn't want you stressed out. That's what I was thinking. And then we sent our photo over to our producer, and she's like, "Oh, we're here. Come by so I can get the content." I didn't think anything of it because I was like, "We're dressed up. We have makeup on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Good
we're
idea.
right around the corner." Because that's how life is now, and it's so fun. Like I am so grateful for the fact that I'm here in front of these cameras, and I have photos and videos and like TikToks, and I mean, I probably can die comfortably. I told
Yeah.
you not yet, but
No. Shut up.
because I have my
What?
documentation I wanted. And we get here, and oh, it was so beautiful. I was like, I didn't kind of thought, I was like, oh, well, maybe they're having a dinner because I saw lights
Yeah,
on.
that's what you said.
But then when I saw it was incredible. I've got to say, like to besties picnics, is it that they do? You
Yes.
guys, They are just like they make the most magical events. They worked here with the whole team, which thank you guys, everybody. My group of women that was here that I adore, they all showed up and made time. This was on a Thursday, during a
Hmm.
busy time for everybody. It was people who have young children, people who are busy with work and other situations
Yeah.
going on. And everybody was here that I loved. And we celebrated, we laughed, we sang, we learned to make a heart, was it, Isa?
Yeah.
and and it was just, it felt like such a gift from God to me to sit there in that moment and look around. And Paula and I did a vision board at the end of last year. And my biggest thing that I put on there was friendship and always a good time, that
Hmm.
too, and celebration. And in that below the friendship in 2025, I should have brought a photo. I'll send it to our producer. But the photo I put was of a dinner party that looks identical
Oh
to
my
what was
gosh.
in the back.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I looked at it yesterday.
Wow.
So it's true. It happens. You create your reality.
Hmm.
So make the time because the time go. You. What did I read you that a friend is Winnie the Pooh?
You're
Winnie the
quoting
Pooh.
Whitney right now.
A friend is one of the nicest things to have, and when those friends become family and to me sisters, I don't have a sister. Paula's my sister, my soul sister. Now I feel like I have 10 sisters. I have a group. I have solid like ground, and it's mine.
Hmm.
Like I can sit there and have conversations with each one, and then I can sit them and be together, and it it's so rewarding.
Yeah.
Just so it gives me so much joy, like so much peace. Like I just feel lighter, and happier.
Yeah.
Like I don't need I don't know how it's gonna sound, but I don't need like my husband to be like praising me and saying these things, or my children, or all the things I was always looking for. I was like, I didn't realize what I was looking for was that having my community of women and
Hmm.
like love.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we put so much on just one person,
Yeah.
right? And they're supposed to
Take all the roles.
give,
Yeah.
all the roles. And
Yeah.
I think that's impossible. It's almost like you're set up to fail. And also like when that's on your end, like if
Yeah. It's
your
heavy.
husband, like if it's all you,
Yeah.
you're the
Yeah.
friend, you're the confidant, you're the
Partner, it's a
advisor,
business.
you're the,
It's all of
yeah,
that.
like
Or chef.
everything. That's a lot. That's
Yeah.
heavy, especially if you're like together for a very, 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 very long time.
Yeah.
So I think having, yeah, like you said, that community
Mhm.
that fills different roles that, God, it's so special.
It is.
Special. And I think it just makes your life better. You can function better.
Mm-hmm.
You talked a little bit about the study, and I was shocked that it actually lowers your cardiovascular disease by 30%.
Mm-hmm.
Like just that's crazy, right? Because you think about, oh, I got to eat well and work out to actually lower
Mhm.
cardiovascular disease
Sleep.
and do all these
Yeah.
other things, right? Stress, and I'm thinking probably I guess it does that maybe in part because of stress. Having these strong friendships
Mm-hmm.
probably reduces stress, and also 30% high. We have a 30% higher risk of premature death
Mm-hmm.
if we don't have like these external friendships and more like community.
Yeah.
I don't want to die. I want a lot of friends.
Exactly. We do, right? And you want to have that because that's what I just said. It gives you it. It gives all of these things, right? And we don't think of that. You think it's just or later. Like that's such a big thing for me. I realized that later.
Later, for sure.
Like I just saw my daughter that went away for college. She found her group like junior year.
Hmm.
And I saw how much I told her, I would tell her, you're not gonna get it back. You're not gonna get it back. And she did it. And she did it. And when it was time to go right now to college, and all of them went, and she just cried and cried. And I was like, it's okay. And but she's like, I'll never have that time, and like
Yeah.
get choked up but I told her, I was like, you will if you're intentional.
Hmm.
If you make the time when you're home, when you get back, you guys are all going to be kind of near each other. Make sure, yes, you're growing, but if this is part of you and it's your sisterhood, you will find the time. And
Yeah.
that's what I was trying to I'm really pushing, like find the time. So what you could keep saying, I want to make sure you see that I've done it. So you do it so young already.
Yeah.
Instead of going into the newhich stage which is college or whatever, jobs and all that. Because we go through so much, right? And having solid
Yeah.
people, yeah, it gets you through. And it's wonderful when you have family, but I think finding your own, I don't know, your own chosen,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. And it's easy. It's easy to just be like, oh yeah, like you said,
Yeah.
later, or we'll get together, but
Yeah.
you never kind of do. Um, so yeah, absolutely. I think it's key. Like I realize how much, and I feel like for me, and I don't know about you, but especially when I would get into relationships, and I think obviously like with therapy now I get it. I'm like, oh, I would get so consumed. It was like
Mm-hmm.
I don't forgot
Mm-hmm.
what attachment
Yeah, yeah.
it is, but
Or
it's
you
like
lose
that.
yourself. You become just
Yeah.
kind of like in that role of just the girlfriend, and everything falls to
And
the
it's
side.
like I'm like, oh, I'm so in love. It's so fulfilling that I don't need anything
Mm-hmm.
else,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like except like you
Yes.
always,
Yeah.
but a lot of other like
Mm-hmm.
friendships or a lot of
Yeah.
other connections. But at some point you're gonna look up, right? Because it is beautiful and it's still, and I'm still deeply in love. But you get to the point where it.
Well, it
I'm
doesn't
sure
look.
chemically
Yeah.
wise, right? You need these external things, and again, you can't have that person fulfill
Yes,
every
like you
single
said,
thing.
no, it becomes very, very heavy, and the expectations on both partners, right? Because it's kind of
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, like I think just as we get older, it's very important to realize that, like, how much do I need? Because somebody could be an introvert, somebody could be an extrovert. That's totally fine,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you've got to vibe with all that. But it's also like, what do I need? Because I need to know that about myself. My husband is social, like I 100 times, like he has friends, or there's not a person he has not met that he's not friends with or whatever, and has this and that. And I remember being so mad for so long at him. Now I know because I didn't have it. I would be so annoyed. Like if we went anywhere and people talked to him, I would be like, oh, like, are you serious? Like another person?
Yeah.
And then I thought it was because I was like, I don't even jealous, obviously, because I didn't have
Mm-hmm.
like friends everywhere I went. He went, and now I realize it. He did tell me the other day that I'm happier because I'm busier and just have a lot
Really?
going on. I was a little offended, see, but he's right because I was not putting into practice the things that I needed to fulfill me, like whatever it was.
I feel
I
like
wasn't.
all
I was just like talking about it or saying it, and then I would just go back to,
not
keep
doing
being the
it.
same thing, and then I was expecting somehow miracles to happen
Yeah.
around me.
You wanted your life to change, but you
Yes.
weren't
No.
changing your actions.
Yes, my
And I
actions.
think a lot of us do that. We get caught up in the, oh, I know I have to work out or drink
Yeah,
water or
I
get
want to
sun in the
be.
morning. Like there's
Yes.
these little things, and it's not even a lot. Like when I think, like for me,
Yeah.
like working out, that's like 3 hours out of like, or
The
4 hours out of the week.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of other time that
Yes.
you have. Like
Yeah.
you can, just prioritizing. It's
Yeah, and then start
prioritizing
saying,
because
yeah,
it makes you so much happier. But until you start doing it, you don't really realize how much it was lacking in your life.
that's very true. So yeah, like me with my yoga class, I went and I was like wanting to cry because I couldn't again touch the floor with my feet, and then I had to it took 5 minutes that I was like, you're not here for that. Like what?
You're
Like
not here to compete with anyone else.
with
It's okay.
myself, because I was like, you haven't done this in like a year. What are you thinking? And then I got like really soft, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna let my body move and do
Mhm.
everything. And by the end, I wanted to cry. I always cry in yoga, so because I was so grateful, I was like, my body can move. I could do this, and I was grateful that for like my dinner and my friends and just everything in life. And I was like, okay, I'm feeling good because I'm doing the things I need to do,
Mhm.
right? Instead of just thinking about them and being mad because people. Oh, then you see it on social media.
Because
and
other
you're
people are doing
look
it.
how
You're like,
happy
what
they
about
are. Well,
me?
because they actually go do things. They go see people. They make the time in their
To
lives
get outside.
to get outside. Yeah.
Well, I think post COVID, it's just made it so much harder. Just connection
Yeah.
and I think sometimes people don't because they feel like, am I going to get rejected? Like as an adult woman,
Yeah.
it's a little more difficult to make friends. Like do you go? Or maybe that's a limiting belief, but it's not as I think honestly as
You have
easy.
to
Like
go outside.
you're not as around many new people. You really have to kind of make that effort.
You have to pursue
But I think you have to pursue that.
to learn.
But I think other
That's
women,
okay.
like everybody's feeling lacking in that department. So I think
It's
so many
very
people
like
are
our
open.
age group, definitely. And I think so. What I saw in the kind of where I was at in my life, I saw a lot. Everybody, most parents, but you meet a lot of people when your kids are little, right? If you start doing sports, you start doing activities, and you kind of connect. Then the kids, they go through middle school, everybody changes. Not everybody stays in the same group. So I think parents sometimes kind of get sad because then your default friends are kind of like
Yeah.
no longer around. Then you get to high school even more. And then they go to college, and then the ones that really built friendships, they'll keep them. But then you're at a loss because you've lost that identity of the parent friends and that community. So if you haven't really found your own community of your own friends for your own reasons, or
For that you
you're-
actually, yeah, that
you
you're
want-
same likes and
yes,
same,
that
yeah.
you want to be around, then it feels like that, like you have to start over. And I remember when I first had my first child, and yeah, I was like super like this, but I had you, but nobody had kids, and I remember just crying, and then my husband would be like, you probably need to go do something with the baby. And I was like, I don't want to go anywhere. First I was like a super young mom,
I don't know them
and
people.
I don't
No.
yes, and I was hateful, and I was like, I don't want to. And then we joined like Gymboree, I don't know what, and of course I wouldn't talk to anybody. And then I felt so lonely. Then my cousins started having kids, and everybody. Then I got more like I was around people my neighbor at the time had, but I had more people with kids, and I was so lonely. I was so lonely, and I just remember thinking like, oh my gosh, everybody, that's it. I'm a mom.
And that's why we cut our hair short and we look at these photos and we're like,
Oh my
never do that
gosh,
again. What
never
were we
again.
doing?
No bad haircuts. Yes, and that was the time. It was like, you're done.
We
Just
gave up.
punch yourself away. And just after that, as the kids grew, and I thought I was intentional because we made time, like, to get together quarterly or twice a year, whatever, and all that stuff, or
It
make
was
sure,
so good.
because I thought right now that's not important, right, for me. And now I realize, hey, there was a lot of things that were happening to me because I was lacking what was so important,
Yeah.
and that's
We lose
proven.
ourselves.
Yes.
And in
Yeah.
that, like when you lose that connection with yourself, a lot of times I don't even think we know truly
Yeah.
have ever connected with ourselves because we become whatever the world wanted us to be or act however the world, rewarded us.
Yes.
Like, oh, you're
Yeah.
being a good girl, right?
Yeah.
But even if you do know yourself, you start losing that connection with yourself because you prioritize everything else. And it's finding that, I think, connection with you, but and then with other women that really just
Yeah.
fills our soul.
And it feels good. And so I remember too, as they got older, and then I had the connections through other friends, and I did find some really good ones that I still communicate with. But some of those were ugly ages. The moms were like catty, and just that. I remember that turned me like, I was like, that's not the vibe I want. And now I feel like the way God has lined everything up, like I'm surrounded by people, I love, they love me. We all want to be together. We're all kind of like, nobody's similar, but everybody's like in the spirit of love and light.
Yes. And good energy, like we went to your
Yes.
house on Sunday. And it
Yes.
was so much fun.
Yeah.
This is how like
Oh my
45-year-olds
gosh,
party
yes,
now.
yes.
I mean, we party. We
do,
go to
we
concert,
do.
but
Yeah.
but this is like a group, and you played the Bad Bunny concert.
Oh my gosh.
It's
I
at
saved it.
11. We
Yes.
had brunch, and then we're like dancing in the living room. Your kids are upstairs asleep.
Yes,
I know that
yes.
they were probably like,
with
what
the
is
whole bass on and everything.
happening?
I made it happen.
We're singing. We're
Yes.
like having a little bubbly. And by 2 p.m., we're like 2, 3. We're like, okay, ya
Yes,
todos a la
everybody
casa.
went home.
Everybody
It
going
was
home.
great. It was
perfect.
exactly what everybody needed in the group that was there. Like you could feel everybody's energy and that wanted
It
to
was
have a
such
good
great
time and all
energy.
that stuff. So I want a lot more of those. I like a lot. I want like intimate dinners. Like I want a lot of moments of that.
Deep discussions.
yes,
Like
yes.
it's so funny again because
Yeah.
you started with that. You're so grateful that we're in front of these cameras and have made all these TikToks and done all these things. But the very first time we literally wanted to cry. We literally were like our Becky's, our brains, right?
Yeah,
Our
yeah.
other
Yes.
everything, our chatter was like, are you sure
Yeah.
you want to do
do
this?
this?
You're gonna be over here doing
Yeah.
TikToks and in front of cameras. Like,
Talking.
what are you
What do you
thinking?
have to
Yeah,
say?
you say you want to be vulnerable and open, but is this really what you want to do? And now
Yeah.
on the other side of that, on the other side of fear, which I think is always what happens, you're grateful that you did these things. And it wasn't as scary. I mean, it was still
No.
scary, but it wasn't as
Hey, now
scary
now we
as
coach
this.
people and tell them just do it. Just get on front of the camera. We're all like,
Yeah,
don't be
go.
afraid. Paula gives them deadlines. She's like, I want to see you. Go
You don't
live."
have an Instagram channel? You gotta.
How do you want to be in business? We're learning, guys, but this has been just. I think friendship is important. Don't forget it. It has to be in your top priority.
Yeah. And saying yes.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of times I would get in my head, like let's say women, would invite me, oh, let's go do this. And it was like your natural tendency is to come up with an excuse. And I love my kids. And it's like I wanted to be there all the time. I wanted to make sure that they felt, oh, I'm here and do you need anything? And seeing it, you're my priority. But if you leave for 2 hours for coffee, it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Like the husbands aren't helping. They're
they're
actually
okay.
they're
They're-
that too. So they
They're okay. Like,
got
but
'em.
most of the nobody's gonna like I always say, nobody's gonna fall apart.
everybody's gonna die.
Yeah. So yeah, finding that you said yes, you've gone on walks with people.
Yeah, now,
But-
but like I'm
but- yeah,
thinking
yeah.
back then.
But you don't. What matters is now. We're
Yes,
looking at
yes,
now. Where you said
yes.
before, don't. Before is everybody live. Let's not live there. Like do the now and then forward. Like put it in your calendar. Like at least we're going into it. Again,
Mhm.
remind you, busy season for me. The holidays start today because the minute my birthday is over, it is a blink and I'm at Christmas. So make sure you get in your calendars. You sit down, get in things to do. Go meet up with people. Go do something new. Even if it's scary, I am going to be trying a few things, so I will share them later over the next 3 months, just for the sake of saying, you know what, I said yes,
Mm-hmm.
because I have been invited to things, and I am like, well, again, I don't like being a beginner, and then
Yeah, you want to be expert mode already. Like it's the first time.
so hard.
That's why we need to go play some pickleball.
Yes,
That'd be
that's what
fun.
I'm
That's gonna
willing
be
to
a lot
do
of
it
fun.
and all that, and but I'm willing the yes, saying yes to the small things, saying yes to connection, and just saying yes to having your friends that are gonna make you healthy.
Yeah, and even new friendships. And it
Yes.
doesn't mean that you have to then continue. Like it's almost like a getting to know you. And some
Yes,
people
it's
are
like
super
dating.
gonna click with. Yeah.
The same thing. I mean, that's why they have Bumble, like the app for friends. I mean, right? I mean, there is people. There's like a. That's the
It's a
whole
big need,
thing.
yeah.
It's a big need. So women, I see it. I see it on TikTok, and I love seeing it. I love seeing that groups like there's like the young groups, the our age, older, because I see the older ones that are so sad.
Yeah. But the
Don't
new
have this.
generation, I feel like
Oh,
they're way
coming out.
better. At
They
that.
have everything.
And
They
they're
got
not trying to,
running, coffee. They got Pilates and coffee. They got. I'm like, where were you?
and they're not trying to just like find a relationship to like fill that. I feel like
They got
back
hangouts
in our
Yeah.
generation, that's kind of
Oh,
yeah.
because we were in that mind of I'm gonna go be a wife and then I'm gonna have rom com and I don't know what and
A rom-com.
it's gonna be like whatever happily ever after.
Okay.
Cinderella and Snow White. But anyway, what do we want to close out with? What do we want to tell our listeners to go do?
Just say yes. Say yes when you get the invitation. If you're not getting an invitation, just you go out there and actually connect, talk to people. Like, I think that's the main thing. You have to get out there, get into the world, start up conversations, join an app, something. Just
A hobby.
reach out to an old friend, start commenting on people's. I'm thinking of people
Yes.
that like, right, because it's
Yeah, yeah.
hard when you
Yes,
don't
when
have
you're
like,
in
you're like,
the-
okay, what am I
yeah.
gonna do? Reach out to people that you used to know on social media, like comment on their stuff, and then all of a sudden it's like,
You've
oh,
got a
hey, now you can reach
conversation
out.
going. Yes.
It's so,
Very
that's
good.
so
I love
funny.
it. It's like pursuing somebody. I'm telling you, because I really like what I read too. That it said, like friendship is medicine. It's not optional. And then it's, this is life. You're gaining something in your life. You're not losing time.
Mhm.
So you're gaining stuff instead of it thinking like I'm losing my time. I'm wasting. I should be doing
Yes.
something else.
Yes. Because I think that's how I used to look at it.
Yeah.
Oh, I could be doing the cleaning.
Yeah.
Why do I want to spend my
You
time
went to
cleaning or
profession.
organizing when I could be, like filling my joy jar?
Yes.
And I think that's why in the blue zones they live so much longer.
Yes.
It's that connection.
Well, they do. They do like in all of them always have
Yeah.
those times in the middle of the or they have their little wine or they're having their tea or they're doing dominoes or like yes. So
Talking shit.
Yeah.
Just like
that's our
just
favorite
get-
activity.
Get out and talk shit with people. That's
and
the
you
tip
will
for the
you
day.
will that is if you take anything from Delulu because it will happen. So
Yes.
thanks for staying today.
And don't forget to subscribe and like and stay to Lulu and make it happen.
We'll see you next time. Bye.